Hello all of you. Now let's get started with the conic section, which is one of the most important topic for JEE mains as well as JEE advanced. So today I will go through JEE mains topics, and then after that when the JEE mains exam will be over, I will make videos on JEE advanced as well. And I promise you, if I tell you something, then you must note down that things and those concepts you must go through thoroughly, and you must solve those questions on those concepts. And I promise you that you will do better, much better than now in your exam. So now, without wasting any time, let's move forward. So now, conic section. How to recognize whether the equation given is of circle, of parabola, of ellipse, of hyperbola, or is a pair of straight lines. So now, the conic section equation is ax square plus by square plus 2hxy plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. This is the general equation of a conic section, where delta equal to abc plus 2fgh minus a, coefficient of x square, into square of coefficient of y. This you have to learn. I can't do anything regarding that. So now, case number 1. If delta is equal to 0, then it is degenerate conic. It is degenerate conic, and you want to find out in degenerate conic which sort of is these lines are coincident lines, pair of intersecting lines, or real or imaginary lines, or it is a point only. So now, case number 1. If AB minus h square is equal to 0, it's coincident line. AB minus h square is not equal to 0, it's pair of intersecting line. AB minus h square is less than 0, then means it is negative, then real or imaginary lines can be there. Or if AB minus h square is greater than 0, it's a point. I can't do anything, you just have to learn. It's not much that important, but you must go through it. Now, case number 2. If it's not equal to 0, so it's not degenerate conics. So, case number 1. If h equal to 0 means the term of xy is not there, and if a equal to b, the coefficients of x square and y square equal, which I told you in earlier videos, if it is there, then it's a circle. So now, second case. If AB minus h square is equal to 0, then it's parabola. Go by the chapter wise, it's parabola. If it's greater than 0, it's ellipse or empty set. If it's less than 0, it's hyperbola. And if it's less than 0 and also a plus b equal to 0, then it's rectangular hyperbola. Alright, now it's one of the main and very important topic to find the center of the conic section. So now, how to find the center of a conic section? Guys, I want to mention one thing, that I'm only focusing on the problem solving skills. As we all know, JEE mains exam is very near. So in this video, I'm only focusing, not I'm going to build up your basic concepts. And I promise you that if you know very little things about that, very little things means like if you studied about board only, then you will catch up with me. You can get everything right and you will be able to solve JEE mains questions. I can't guarantee about the advanced, but for mains, I'm sure that you will be able to solve it if you thoroughly go through this video. So now, to find the center of a conic section. So, how to find it? So, we first, this is our function. We have to find the center of this conic section. So now, this is the function. We partially differentiate it with respect to x first, then with respect to y first. Alright. While differentiating with respect to x partially, then with x square it's 28x, y remains static because we treat it as a constant. With x it is differentiated, and then only minus 44 because this we treat this as a constant, you all know. Then you get two equations after partially differentiating them both in x and y. You all know what to do. Then solve these equations, you will get x and y, which is the center of a conic section. This is one of the most hidden point of the conic sections, and most of the students don't know it, so it's very important. Now, eccentricity. First of all, I want to talk about the basic terms and basic definitions of a conic section, like x is vertex, then we will come to eccentricity. So now, moving forward, x is the perpendicular to direct corner. Now, axis. Sorry for the interruption. Now for axis, the perpendicular to directrix and passing through focus. So suppose it is perpendicular to the directrix and pass through the focus. So you must be getting what's the directrix, what's the focus. I told you earlier also that you must know the basic terms. I am not going to tell them. Vertex, the points where conic section cut or touch the axis. It's the point. Suppose this is your axis, and then this is your axis, and then this is your conic section. So this is your vertex. Okay. So now double ordinate, perpendicular to the axis, terminates both the ends of the curve. It is perpendicular to the axis. This is your axis, this is your conic section, and it is perpendicular to the axis and terminates both the ends of the curve. Okay. Then now latus rectum, double ordinate through focus. What is latus rectum? It is nothing but it is also a double ordinate, so it is perpendicular to the axis, but the point at which it touches the axis is the focus of the curve. Now center, it bisects the chord passing through it. What is center? Whenever you see center is only mentioned in the circle, what it does, it bisects the diameter in two equal radius. It is also mentioned in ellipse. So in parabola we do not have, so parabola don't have centers. Focal chord, any chord through focus. We know about latus rectum, it is perpendicular and it is of length 4a. I will tell you about a later in this video. So focal chord is also passes through, like latus rectum, it also passes through the focus, but it is not necessary that it is perpendicular to the axis. If it is perpendicular to the axis, then it becomes latus rectum. If not, then it's simply a focal chord. So now I want to ask you one question. All latus rectums are focal chord. Is it true? Yes, it is true. But all focal chords are not latus rectum. Okay, you must be getting that. Now, a parabola has two focus. One we all know, for y equal to y square is equal to 4ax. It is at a comma 0, like here it is focus, and one at infinity. Okay, so a parabola has two focus and one of them is at infinity. You must have already know about that in physics. Okay, in the mirror section. Now directrix, directrix is perpendicular to the axis and it is equidistant from the vertex like the focus. It is of same distance from vertex. Directrix and focus are of same distance. Suppose here this is your directrix. This sort of question, already very easy question, came in AIEEE maybe 2004 and 5. I'm not just confirmed about the year, but it was there in 2004 and 5, and very simple question. Now in that question it was given that at 1 comma 0 we have the directrix. Okay, then in that question it was also given that the equation of the parabola is minus 4x. So was something like that. The parabola was something like that. Now, and the focus was given. At 0 comma 0. Now the vertex was asked. Very simple question. We all know the vertex. For vertex, focus is also equidistant and the directrix is also equidistant. Now it's 1. So now for to be equidistant, this should be the midpoint, that is 1 comma 2 0. So the main concept used in that question was this only, that the vertex, from vertex the focus is also equidistant and the directrix is also equidistant. Okay, so it is one of the main point. Just note it down. Now focal distance of any point from the focus, for y square barabar 4ax, the distance, focal distance is equal to x plus a, where a is come from y square barabar 4ax, from that sort of thing. Alright. Now focus and directrix equidistant from the vertex, already told you that point. Now perpendicular distance of p. Now the equation of parabola, I am talking about the equation of parabola. So equation of parabola now. Okay, The perpendicular distance, suppose you took a point P in the space, in the coordinate 2D coordinate x and y, you took a point P. Now the perpendicular distance to the axis, so it's the perpendicular distance from the axis to the point. Okay, perpendicular distance of point P x comma y to the distance, the square of this equal to latest rectum into perpendicular distance of the same point from the tangent. Now the vertex is also can be called as the tangent. So the point this, so the distance from here. Okay, and we all know what is latest rectum now. Look at it. Now we will just find the equation of parabola. Now this point we earlier mentioned, it is x comma y. Now what is the perpendicular distance of this point from the x-axis? Very simple, this is y. Okay, perpendicular distance from the vertex or the tangent, this is x. Now put in the formula. Latest rectum is of length 4a. Okay, 4a. Now perpendicular distance of P to the axis perpendicular distance, the square of is 4 square. Latest rectum, what is that? Length of latest rectum is 4a. Now perpendicular distance of P to the tangent, P perpendicular distance to the tangent, that is x. Now we got the equation. Okay, now this is also very important. Parabola whose axis is parallel to y-axis and x-axis. What the general equation of those parabolas, or those sort of parabolas? From the 6th and 7th we have already solving the quadratic equations. The graph of those quadratic equations were like those, were like those, were like those. So the axis, so the axis was that. Okay, and these sort of quadratic equation we came across many times. So the axis is always perpendicular to the y-axis. So if in any question if it is given that the axis is parallel to x-axis, then simply do this, and if it is given vice versa, then do vice versa. Okay, now the generalized form. Okay, suppose if your ordinate system is shifted to some point h comma k, okay, then your focus becomes a plus h comma k, the change in x coordinate comma y, क्योंकि y में तो कुछ स्पेल था ही नहीं, तो जो चेंज आया वही हो गया, लेकिन जो फोकस में था वो जो चेंज नया आया है अभी, तो वो ऐड होगा. ठीक है, और डायरेक्ट्रिक्स का विषय में देखो, डायरेक्ट्रिक्स पहले x बराबर माइनस ए पे था ना, लेकिन अभी जो चेंज आया है वो आपको इसमें ऐड करना पड़ेगा, जो h का चेंज आया ना वो, बस सिंपली. तो जो आपका नया है वो क्या बन जाएगा? ओरिजिन आपका ये हो गया ना h कॉमा के, तो k सिंपली. एंड यू मस्ट बी नोइंग दैट for if I give you this sort of parabola, and if you are asked to find about the focus, directrix, those sort of question you must have come across in 11th, and I know that those students who are preparing for JEE Mains must be able to do that. So it's nothing, it's very simple. Just you have to convert it into whole square, then you just have to compare it. Okay, suppose if it is given, suppose like that, it is the general what we came across, y square barabar 4x, because most of the students like this sort of equation. Now when we convert it into y into a whole square form, it must come in sum of this form, x minus z whole square equals to z minus h, something like of that sort. Okay, now just convert it into capital Y square barabar x. Okay, then the constants here, compare the constants which came here with 4a, okay, and x. Now if someone asks you the directrix, for this the directrix, what is the directrix? At capital X equal to minus a na. So now if you took a capital X as x minus h, so just replace it by that. Okay, so now you will get this, which is same to this. Okay, getting my point? So it's very simple, don't be getting